show you guys how important it is undercoating and how much more life and quality you get out of your machine, right? What's going on, guys? We are back with another one. You guys know I love hopping on the camera and sharing as much of the business as I can with you guys. Right now, we have some undercoating going on around the shop. So all the tops are popped on all the Raris, if you will. And right now, we are undercoating all of our equipment. Very common practice around here is we undercoat all of our equipment every fall and every spring. Now, I know we're a little bit past spring and there's a couple reasons why. However, here we are getting down to business. All the tractor's been ran through its maintenance. It's all set, ready to go to just relax for the summer, to get prepared to be able to get out in the field and work next winter. One step that we haven't gone through yet because we were in the middle of doing a lot of painting and maintenance, a little bit of fabricating on some of the equipment. Undercoating is like the last thing you want to do, just because any of you guys know that have worked on equipment, having the machine full of oil and grease really sucks to work on. So we like to get everything out of the way and then undercoat last, and then we're just gonna let these puppies marinate for the summer, and then they'll be back out in the field come December, right? Come November, actually. A little bit different around these parts. We get snow early. Check out this homemade setup we made here in-house for undercoating all of our tractors. So basically, if you look at the beginning of the lineup here, and it goes all the way down, and then we got our tractors over here as well. You know, it'd be quite hard to move around if we had a stationary setup. So what we did is we grabbed a nice pallet. We put our undercoating barrel with our sprayer on top. There's the compressor on the side for the hoses. That way the fluid sprays. And then we got our generator to power the compressor on the back here. So full portable setup. We just grabbed the forks, put the forks on our tractor down there in the M5 111, set this portable sprayer in the box of our single cab, and then we just drive along all the way to the end and get them all sprayed one by one by one. Works really well for us, gets the job done. Yeah, it's been good this is our second time using it to spray the fleet, or maybe even third actually. Yeah, third time using it to spray the fleet, and it's been incredible to us. It's a really nice, simple setup, homemade. We've had this tractor here in the fleet now for 4 seasons. So we've had this thing around since 175 driveways, back on pretty much our first year in business, we'll call it. This tractor's been nothing but good to us, okay? Really testing this Kubota L6060, putting it through 4 harsh winters here in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, putting about 300 hours on it every single year, and just beating the piss out of it, getting it full of salt, sand. It's put up quite well for us. I mean, I know I'm talking on the integrity aspect of Kubota, but I just thought I would throw that in there real quick. This machine's been relentless. We've had close to no breakdowns. It's just been so reliable. So I'll show you how the frame, how the body and everything looks on this machine for having 4 winter seasons, okay? This thing's going on into its 5th. So we got a little bit of rust in the cage, a little bit of bubbling here from some of the paint that we touched it up with, a little bit of rust. But overall, if you really look at the frame, there's the front axle, the exhaust, a little bit of rust, the weights have a little bit of rust. And remember, this thing has never been touched up with paint yet. I know you've seen some touch up there for the hood, but regardless, I just want to show you guys how important it is undercoating and how much more life and quality you get out of your machine, right? Here you got a little bit of rust, but not much, you know, not much at all. All in all, not much rust at all. If there isn't any, to be honest. Yeah, you get a little bit on the weights, of course. Front axle is, my God, for 4 seasons, look at it. Take them over to the block, the engine block inside, all the components for the hydraulics. Take a look in here, because I'll show you the difference on some of our John Deeres that weren't undercoated, that we bought from another company that didn't go through this process like we do, and they're beat to So these are custom made fenders. These are actually made out of fiberglass. This was before they had the Nordics edition. This is the new Nordics edition that Kubota came out with. And these fenders are like night and day, but these have put up well for us. We made these custom in-house, and they're not made out of steel. Like I said, they're fiberglass, but you can tell they're still in great shape. Taking it to the back rim here as well. Besides this rim being dirty, just take a look. It's in amazing condition. The paint's still all there. This thing isn't rusted to shit. And like I said, that's because we undercoat our equipment, right? You want a little bit of a bulge because you want a softer ride in your tractor, but this is too much of a bulge. So we'll definitely need to add a little bit of air in there. Good eye, Eric. Look at everything under there. Give them a good show. That's taking care of your equipment right there. So twice a year, guys, For 4 years, we've undercoated this machine. Maybe 1 or 2 years, we only undercoated it once because it wasn't protocol of ours before to do twice. We ramped it up to doing twice because we really want to take care of our equipment. But this Kubota L6060, for having 4 winners on it, is just an amazing condition. Yeah, you're gonna get your little bit of rust here by the steps, but no rotting, you know, just some surface rust. Very easy stuff to touch up, which we're getting to, but all in all, very minor, right? You have a little bit of rust on your fenders, but you gotta remember, these are the components that Kubota doesn't really finish the paint as well as like they would on the actual chassis. When we're talking the engine block and all the lines and pumps, like they really dip those in some good paint. Here, they probably skip out a little bit on, but regardless, that's really the only rust you're gonna see in these little, you know, extension pieces that are put on here. This piece here is a little bit rusty. I mean, another reason for why it does look so clean is because we really take good care of our equipment. Eric and Andreas are always doing maintenance on these machines. They're always power washing them. We're getting the schedule of undercoating them twice a year, so they do look great, but you know, we want our equipment to last, so this is what we do. This blower has been around for 4 years. Check this thing out.
In here, we have these hooks in there that I installed one time because one of the guys bent these over in a line of trees. So what I did, I welded these together to be able to pull it from that way, and I was able to bend it back, right?
This blower, having it for 4 years now, from a reliability and integrity standpoint, has been amazing. This one has the hydraulic wings on it. We don't really use them, but the option is there. This blower has been through 4 seasons, okay? Disregard this extra fabricated hookup piece there. This is for our shovel mount. So these are rusty, of course, because we put them on and they're not galvanized. It's aftermarket. This is what holds our shovel, as you guys could tell. But if you actually look at just like the body of the blower, this thing is in incredible shape for just having loads of salt, sand, and snow stuck to it for 4 seasons in a row. Sadly, I wish they galvanized the chutes. That would be awesome if they did. I don't know why they don't. Like, I'm not sure what the reason is. Maybe it has something to do with the snow. Who knows? I don't know. They definitely should get into galvanizing their chutes. But for 4 seasons, this thing's never been touched up. If you show them around it, Andreas, it's in pretty decent shape. Inside the throat's always going to be very rusty because, of course, a lot of rocks and sand and snow spit through there and salt, but exterior of the chute's in great shape for 4 seasons. I'm quite happy with it. We undercoat the blowers as well, just so you guys know. The paint jobs are not going to be as good on these chutes as it's going to be, of course, on a Kubota L6060, but it's just a little bit of flaking and chipping of the paint. It's coming off. It's definitely due for a paint job soon here and some touch-ups, but all in all, this blower has been great to us. Reliability has been awesome. Performance has been insane, and I really have no complaints from Cyclone at all. I just wish that they had a different option when it comes to the 3-point bolt-on hitch, but we make do, and it does the job. So love these blowers to death. If you really show them the rear end, it's in amazing shape from all the undercoating that we've done around here. Even look at the inside of the rims, just hardly any rust on this machine. Okay, let's show everybody a brand new Kubota L6060. Now, this thing is brand spanking new, only has 1 season on it, and you could tell, yes, it's a little bit cleaner. You know, the weight case is dirty, but when I mean like from rust and chipping and paint being off of it, this one is much cleaner. Just goes to show you, not too much cleaner than the one behind me here that has 4 years on it. It's in a little bit better shape, right? You don't have that rust in the corners here and that paint peeling. You don't have any paint peeling here on the front mount fender mounts. Like, there's just a little bit more detail on this one to show you that it's in much better shape, but not much at all. For 4 seasons compared to 1, just goes to show you again how well the undercoat does for us. So now I'm just gonna take you guys for a quick ride over to some of our John Deeres we bought from down south that were like 4 seasons old. When we got a hold of them, we started undercoating them twice a year. They've been through 2 winters with us. They're about to go into a 3rd, but when we received them, we noticed right away, like, the salt is very harsh down south because they don't use a sand mixture. Here we use a sand and salt mixture, our municipality does, but down south it's pure salt, and if you're really not undercoating your machines, you're gonna damage the hell out of them. So these ones we purchased used, I'll just come and show you here that the equipment's great. It runs well. Mechanically, it's amazing, but aesthetically, the body could be in a lot better shape. But it isn't due to lack of undercoating and not oil spraying your equipment, right? Whatever company owned this before just really didn't believe in that. They didn't take their filters off. They didn't change their filters. They didn't undercoat. They really didn't do any maintenance to their equipment. It looked like they just ran it and then traded them all in for the most part. Front axle, as you could tell, isn't horrible. It's not too bad. You got a little bit of rust on the weight case here, if you could see. But if you start diving into, like, look at this line, for example. Look at the corrosion on this line. Like, it's rusty and it's starting to crack and it's rotting, right? That's not too ideal. If you come look at the rims, you know, just to show you guys the difference on that rim I was showing you on the Kubota. Now you got to remember, these are both the same age. This is a 2018 or 2019. And I know for sure that Kubota is a 2018. It just goes to show you the difference. This rim is in much worse shape. Look at the back rim, Andreas. Show them a deep dive on the back rim. You know, if you look around here, all around here, like, you could just see the rust, you know, like just stained right on it. And the inside's even worse. Eric just pointed this out. Look at the front mount fender bar. It's in bad shape. Needs some TLC. If you look under here too, you could see some very nasty corrosion, possibly some rotting starting to happen there if we don't get that covered soon. Right there, you leave that for too long, it's gonna get worse and worse. That's some, you know, salt and sand sitting against the door seal.
We stopped the corrosion this had. This is kind of the way they were looking when we received them, but we have been undercoating them and we just kind of kept it that way. Like, we kind of stopped it, right?
That's a good point.
Obviously the rust continues to grow, but it started to grow like slower than it was before, right?
Yeah.
So what you see in here is what we received when we purchased this tractor, more likely, right? The undercoating will not totally stop, but it will help enhance the time, right? So
yeah, no, that was honestly an amazing point Eric just added, and I didn't get to mention that we definitely stopped a lot of the rust that was on here. Like, this is pretty much how we got them, Eric, and you're right about that. And when we got our hands on it, we started undercoating them a lot more, so we kind of stopped the rust where it started. And yeah, it's been getting a little bit progressively worse, but not bad at all. If we wouldn't have undercoated them, we would have been in much worse shape. I don't know, how's under the hood look? I mean, we keep them pretty clean, so okay, so these are a little bit more covered. It doesn't pop the whole hood open, but point blank period, we keep our equipment in good shape. You're not going to see a lot of rotting or too much rust under the hood, of course, because it's so covered, but it's more rims, axles, front mount weights, around the doors. You know, you're not going to find too much in here. It's in good shape. This is where it gets bad. You know, look at all under here, right? This here, you can see, and it's getting thick, right? It's starting to eat away at the steel. You could see that. The fenders, right? Underneath isn't horrible. Like I said, we've held on to these tractors as much as we could. When we received them, we're like, damn, these are rusty for only a couple seasons being old, and we started spraying them, and it helped a lot for sure. That's about it. I just want to show you guys a comparison on this John Deere that's the same year as the Kubota, just to show you it's in a little bit worse shape from not taking care of it. Back rim again, guys, like, just look at the rust all around the rim lip there. Certainly not horrible, and I think a big reason of why it isn't completely ruined yet is because we started undercoating them as soon as we got our hands on them 2 years ago. That did help a lot. But yeah, it's a similar year, this tractor. It's either a 1 year older or it's the same year. I can't quite remember. I think the Kubota is a 2019 and this is a 2018, but I'm not quite sure. They are similar regardless. There's obviously a big difference when it comes to the rust difference, right? So